Your cat doesn't follow you. Not really. What they're actually doing is something far older than domestication, far older than the bond between humans and cats. And most owners, even the most devoted ones, have completely misread it their entire lives. Every time your cat appears in the doorway when you enter a room, every time they trail you down the hallway at midnight, every time they settle exactly where you settle, they are not being clingy. They are not bored. They are performing one of the most ancient and deliberate acts a cat can make toward another living being. And by the end of this, you will never look at that shadow behind you the same way again. There's one thing in particular, something that happens in the last chapter, that cat behaviorists believe is the truest signal of how deeply your cat has bonded with you. Most owners never notice it. We're going to make sure you do. Let's start with the assumption almost every cat owner carries without realizing it. When your cat follows you, you think it's about you, that they want something from you: food, attention, warmth. But here's what's actually happening beneath that. Cats are territorial animals at a biological level. Their world is defined not by relationships, but by space, by scent, by ownership of an environment. In the wild, a cat's territory is everything. It determines where they sleep, where they hunt, where they're safe. When your cat follows you from room to room, they are not wandering aimlessly in your wake. They are extending their territory to include you. You are not their destination. You are their anchor point. Research published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that cats in bonded households treat their primary human as a mobile territory marker, adjusting their spatial behavior around the human's movements rather than around fixed locations in the home. Think about what that means. Your cat has redefined what safe space means. It used to be a location, a sunny corner, a favored shelf. Now, it's wherever you are. You became the place. And that's just the surface, because the reason your cat chose you as their anchor and not someone else in your home is something we'll get to in Chapter 5, and it will change how you understand everything.
Here's something most people never consider. Your cat does not experience the world the way a dog does. Dogs evolved over thousands of years to read humans, to follow our gaze, to respond to our commands, to seek our approval. That adaptation happened deliberately, through domestication. Cats never went through that process. Cats chose us. And because of that, cats don't see humans as a separate category of being. Renowned cat behaviorist John Bradshaw spent years studying how domestic cats interact with people, and what he found was striking. Cats use the exact same social behaviors with humans that they use with other cats. The rubbing, the slow blink, the following. In Bradshaw's research, cats showed no evidence of a distinct human interaction mode. They simply folded their human companions into their existing feline social framework, treating them as large, unusually clumsy members of their colony. So when your cat follows you, they're not behaving like a pet following an owner. They're behaving like a cat following a colony member they've chosen to stay close to. In feral cat colonies, members move together. They track each other. They stay within a comfortable distance of the cats they trust. Your cat is doing exactly that, with you. You are not their owner in their mind. You are their colony. And if that idea is shifting something for you right now, if you're seeing your cat differently, hit the like button. It helps us reach more cat owners who want to understand what their cat has been trying to say all along. Let's talk about the bathroom, because if you have a cat, you already know what I'm about to say. They follow you in. They sit and stare at you. They paw at the door if you close it. They act as though the simple act of you being on the other side of a door is a personal betrayal. Most people laugh it off or find it mildly invasive, but there's a reason this specific behavior is so persistent, and it goes deeper than curiosity. In cat colonies, isolation is a vulnerability. A cat who disappears from the group and doesn't return is either in danger or has abandoned the colony. When you close a door, your cat doesn't understand doors the way you do. They understand disappearance. And disappearance, in their wiring, triggers a very specific response: locate the missing colony member. That pawing at the door, that's not entitlement, that's a welfare check. Your cat is making sure you haven't vanished from their world. Animal behavior researchers note that cats who exhibit door anxiety, persistent attempts to access closed rooms containing their owner, consistently score higher on secure attachment measures, suggesting the behavior reflects bonding strength rather than behavioral issues. The cats who couldn't care less if you disappear behind a door, they're the ones with weaker attachment bonds. The cat who sits outside the bathroom door and meows dramatically, that cat is the one who loves you most fiercely. They just have an unusual way of showing it. Have you ever noticed that your cat seems to know when you're about to move before you do? You shift your weight slightly on the couch and they're already on their feet. You glance toward the kitchen and they're somehow already ahead of you in the hallway. This is not coincidence, and it's not magic. It is one of the most sophisticated forms of social intelligence that domestic cats possess. Cats who are deeply bonded to a person spend enormous amounts of time simply watching them, studying their micro-movements, learning the subtle language of their body before conscious action takes place. The small lean that precedes standing, the change in breathing that comes before speaking, the particular stillness that means sleep is close.
A 2021 study in animal cognition found that cats living in close proximity to their owners demonstrated what researchers described as anticipatory mirroring, positioning themselves based on predicted human movement rather than reactive responses. This behavior was exclusively observed in cats with high attachment scores. Your cat is not following your body. They are following your intention. They have studied you so deeply that they know what you're going to do before you do it. And what does it mean to know someone that well, to have watched them so carefully, so patiently, so consistently that their movements become a language you speak fluently? That's not following, that's devotion. Earlier, I mentioned that there's a reason your cat follows you specifically, and not just anyone in your home. Now we're going to answer that. If you live with other people, you may have noticed that your cat has a preference. They follow one person more than another. They settle closer to one person. They seem to orient around one person's movements like a compass finding north. Why? The answer isn't who feeds them. Studies have repeatedly shown that cats do not bond most strongly to whoever controls the food, contrary to the popular assumption. What they bond to is something more nuanced, more human. Research from the University of Vienna tested whether cats preferred the person who fed them versus the person who engaged with them most. The results were clear. Cats formed strongest attachments to people who responded to their signals, not the person who gave the most, the person who listened the most. Your cat follows you because you made them feel heard. At some point, maybe without even realizing it, you responded when they communicated. You noticed when they were unsettled. You adjusted when they needed space. You were present in the specific way that a cat recognizes as safe. And they cataloged that, quietly, completely, and they made a decision, one that most cats make only once and hold for life. They decided you were worth following. Now I want to talk about what I mentioned at the very beginning.
the signal that cat behaviorists consider one of the most significant things a bonded cat can do, and the one most owners miss entirely. It's not the following itself, it's the moment the following stops. A cat who has been your shadow for months or years, and then one day isn't, who no longer appears in doorways, who sleeps further away, who seems to be quietly withdrawing from the trail they used to walk with you. Most owners attribute this to mood, to age, to the cat simply being independent. But cats do not withdraw from attachment bonds without reason. When a cat who followed you faithfully begins to pull away, they are communicating something. Sometimes it's physical. Pain or illness can cause a cat to seek solitude as a protective instinct. A quiet withdrawal from social behavior is one of the earliest signals that something is medically wrong, and it's worth a vet visit when it appears suddenly in an otherwise bonded cat. Sometimes it's environmental, a change in the home that feels threatening, a new person, a new animal, a shift in routine that the cat experienced as a loss of safety. And sometimes, more rarely and more painfully, it's relational. Cats remember. If something happened in a space or between two beings that registered as a breach of safety, they process it, they adjust, they protect themselves the only way they know how, by leaving the trail. The cat who follows you is giving you something precious, not just company, not just warmth. They are giving you their presence, which is, for a solitary predator designed by evolution to trust no one, the most radical gift they possess. So the next time you feel that small weight of awareness behind you, that familiar shadow in the hallway, that presence in every doorway, don't call it clingy, don't call it habit, call it what it is. Your cat chose a world that was wild and solitary and designed for survival alone, and they chose to spend it following you.